Hello my friends, back with another podcast and video for you guys. Today I want to talk about something that I want to get into the podcast studio for this, because sometimes like when I'm talking straight into the camera for the videos, it can get kind of, it's hard for me to kind of focus on long-term thoughts and kind of, air out specific things that I want to go in depth about. Today I really want to talk about something. I've been getting a lot of video requests and a lot of emails about people who, kind of asking me how to start businesses and pursue photography for a career, and just how to actually do it. And I wanted to make a video on this for a long time because it goes so much deeper than just trying to set out to make money in photography. I think that people need to really ask themselves exactly what they want in this world, and it comes down to two things. Do you want security, or do you want to be inspired? Constantly inspired. And by when I say inspired, I mean hardcore, living on the edge type inspiration. And if you really think about it, most business owners and people who have made it in any artistic field or cutting edge work or of any kind, they're complete outliers. These people sacrifice. And that's really what it comes down to, and that's what I want to, have the topic of this podcast to be today, is sacrifice. And I want to touch on it because it's so important. People want to learn, how to live in a comfort zone, but also create work or create a business or create a structure of life that's super inspiring, but also live this comfortable life and not give up the things that make them, safe in their safe space. And I don't think that those two things are compatible at all. I think that you kind of need to make a decision about where you want to be. If you want to live, a life of security, generally that life of security comes with little inspiration. People who are on the cutting edge of making things that are like, crossing boundaries or doing stuff that really moves people, or doing things that are, super, super big. Doesn't even have to be in a creative field, just in business or, commerce or, just whatever. These people are outliers. They sacrifice everything for the vision. They have one-track minds when it comes to it. The secret to being a good photographer is not in any type of technique. It's not in any type of, obviously you guys know, this is my, I preach this a million times, it's not in any type of gear. I've said that a billion times. But it's also not in any type of technique. It's not in any type of gimmick. The secret of being a good photographer is in the sacrifice. It's getting up every single day, and it's not a question of if you're going to take photos, it's when you're going to take photos or where you're going to take photos. It's sacrificing a life of comforts for scaling back and, harnessing everything that you have towards the goal. I just feel like people nowadays, we live in this society and like this world where things are just presented to us so easily, and we don't have to work for anything. And now that's nice because on a very basic level, the reptilian brain in all of us, we want those things. On a biological level, we strive towards security. But what we don't realize is we have that exponentially now. Even if you think that you're not, you're technically poor, you're not really poor. If you live in the Western world, I have people from all over the world listening to this stuff now. But if you're from the Western world, your poor is like a king, 200 years ago. The things that we have now put us in such a safe space that it's almost impossible to create cutting edge work unless we're drifting out to the outer edges of areas that we're not comfortable in. And so how do we do that? Well, we have to sacrifice. Like a perfect example, right? I'm going to get real with you guys about, what's kind of going on in me and Sarah's life right now in our business. So, we have the wedding photography business, but we're looking for ways to expand and grow. And, Sarah's taken on wedding florals. So we're branching out. We're doing florals for different brides, and we already have, I think, 6 of our brides for next year are going to be taking on florals with us. So, we're definitely branching off. We're going to be doing a lot more work that doesn't have to do with just photography. But we also we're scaling back our expenses in our personal lives because we have a new vision, or we have a vision that's a little bit more expanded. So like I just got back from the dealership yesterday, and I had a very nice truck, brand new truck, and it was brand new when I bought it in 2016. It was like a $50,000 truck, and I scaled back, and now I'm driving a Volkswagen Jetta. It's sacrifice. Scaling back the things that you don't need in your life, cutting off all the fat, all the things that are bringing you away from the vision, and making it easier for you to have laser focus on what you want. People who sacrifice for things are the people who actually make the greatest impact on the world. It's not the people who want the safety and the, ease and comfort of all the things that, modern society brings us. Those are not the people that are going to end up going out there and creating the work that really lasts. Business, great photography, anything, it's all about a laser-like focus on what you want. You have to be willing to sacrifice these comforts, guys. The number one thing that's going to set you apart is the work. I can teach you a bunch of different techniques about light. I can teach you, obviously, how to get the best out of your cameras. But when it comes down to it, you could take a camera like this. I'm holding up a D700 right now with a 50-1.8D lens. This is like a $400 package right here. And you could go out and you could take the most breathtaking, stunning photos with this. You could start a business with this. You could feed your family with something like this. It's just a couple $100. But it's not going to be the easiest. Yeah, it would be so much easier if you could just, drop 10 grand on a new A9 and, a bunch of new G Master glass and go out there and make things easier. But actually honing in on what you want and sacrificing the comforts of your life for the bigger picture, that's where the inspiration lies. People like me, I can't exist in the normal world. I can't. Going into a job every single day, having a boss telling me what to do, and not that there's anything wrong with that, just the type of person I am, it's literally like cancer. It's like I'm being radiated if I'm not doing everything I can to create the work that's going to last. In the whole business and the wedding photography and the florals and all that, it's all just setting up a path so I can go out and create. Because all I really want to do is just shoot photos. So I have to create a world around me that's going to allow me to do that. And if you guys are like that, those are the traits that are going to make you set apart from everybody else. You can go on YouTube, or you can go on the internet, you can go on podcasts, and you can listen for a million different tips on, how to make your photography better, or learn some gimmick or some technique. But really what it comes down to is going out every single day and shooting, and then creating a world that allows you to do that every single day. That's the only way that you're ever going to stand out and make a big impact. I wish it was easier. I wish I had some 10 tips to, guaranteed success. But it's not like that. You have to be willing to take a step back from all the comforts in life and say, okay, I get maybe 80 years, maybe 90 years on this earth if I'm lucky. How do I want to spend that time? And if you want to spend that time, going on a couple of vacations, shooting photos every once in a while, and just, working the job and paying the bills, there's nothing wrong. That's honorable. Absolutely. But if you're looking to actually create work that's cutting edge and that's actually going to stand out and make a huge impact and connect emotionally with people and ripple out through the years, it's going to take laser-like focus and almost a sacrifice of pretty much everything else for it. The true artists, the true greats in any craft, they sacrifice everything. Everything. They don't go out and blow their money on stupid stuff. They don't go out and spend their time, getting drunk and chasing, stupid distractions. They don't spend their time on entertainment. They spend their time getting better at their craft. And that's why I come out here and I preach this stuff with the gear and the, hey, let's take the focus off that stuff, because it drives me nuts to no end. Because that stuff is so incompatible with real work. I was just talking to somebody through Instagram DMs today, and he's got a D3200 and he's making a living off it. The D3200, guys. And the truth is I wasn't even that surprised about it. I was like, man, that's freaking awesome. Props to you for not falling into that trap and thinking that you need all this other stuff. You learned your gear. You have a laser-like focus on what you have, getting the absolute most out of it, and you're producing what you need, because I'm sure his focus is absolutely tunnel vision. You need to also be willing to be sacrifice people understanding what you're doing. Understanding, like, what's going on in your head. People, like, I've always been pretty misunderstood. People were always kind of just like, well, why can't you just kind of, do the easy thing, or just do the thing that's going to, the sure thing that's going to make things work and just comfortable and all that. And I've sacrificed being understood by pretty much everybody, except for my very close immediate family and my wife. Because they know the real me, and they know that this stuff, creating things, photography, building my business, that stuff is literally like the air for me. I need to have it. And, I'm not saying that, like, I'm some cutting edge artist. I'm the, next, whoever, Herb Ritz or Bresson or somebody like that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I have an authentic, real drive for this stuff. And I know that my life's work, what my legacy is going to be, is the effort and the sacrifice that I put into it. And hopefully I'll make a few photos that stand the test of time. But it's not, the thing that I am scared of is getting to my deathbed at the very end of my life and being like, man, I spent too much time worrying about the wrong things. And so if you want to get better at photography, it's not going to be, like I said, learning a new technique. It's not going to be buying a piece of gear. It's not going to be learning some hack or some trick. You are going to get better by going out every single day. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Z50, and I've made the videos on it, and I've been talking about it in the Discord group and everything, because it's the best camera is the one that you have on you. And that thing is so easy for me to take around with me and always have it on me. I never miss a shot now because I always have something with me. So whatever it takes for you to always have a camera and you always be in that mood to go out there and do that, even if you're not in the mood. I probably shouldn't even have said that, because it doesn't even matter if you wake up and you're like, I don't feel like it every day. And I don't feel like it today. Because sometimes I don't feel like it. But you know what? I'm a photographer. So that's what I do, is I go out and I shoot and I make photographs every single day. And that's the ticket. Really, guys, that is the ticket for this stuff. It's every single day producing. So you need to be okay with not being accepted. You need to be okay with people not understanding your work. You need to be okay with trusting your gut and moving forward with what you feel is right. Because like I've said this in other videos too, there's nobody in this world that's like you. You have a special, unique gift in seeing the world in a certain way that nobody else sees. And the only way that you're going to get that out is by trusting your gut. So if you are relying on, the direction of other people, or, just the direction of other people, them telling you what to do, or them, you relying on the way that they did it, it's never ever going to be your true authentic self. And this is the thing that scares people, is because you can go off your gut and you can start to shoot the things that really matter to you and inspire you, and it could suck for a couple of years. It could be shit work, and you can get frustrated and be like, oh, I'm not getting the response. I don't know, like it's not, the attention isn't kicking back to me. I really don't know if this is the right thing. And then all of a sudden it clicks. If you keep following that, all of a sudden it starts to click, and then things start to happen. But it only works if it's true. It only works if it's true and it's from you. You just have to go with what the heart tells you. And that I know, guys, that sounds kind of woo-woo or whatever, But if your heart is telling you that you need to put everything into photography, you need to do that. If your heart is telling you you need to scale back your photography and focus on your personal relationships, you need to do that. It's listening to yourself and knowing exactly what, because everybody has that inner compass, and it, you know, I guess it could steer you wrong, but it's the best chance. Listening to it is the best chance we have of living a life that does not involve a bunch of regret when we get to the end of it. I believe that that inner voice and that inner compass is there for a reason. And yes, you know, it might work out, it might not, but it's the best chance you have of creating work that you're proud of and getting to the end of your life and not being filled with regret. You got to follow your heart, guys. This path of constant sacrifice, it's not one of happiness and or constant happiness and constant fulfillment. It's one of a lot of, it's a path of doubt. It's a path of, you know, instability at times, but it's a path of fulfillment ultimately. I just want to get this point across, guys, to you, and I hope this really helps. You know, I'm going to go back and watch this and listen to this podcast, obviously, before I post it, but I hope it wasn't too much rambling and the point came across. That I want you guys to know that, you know, this is a place that you can come to get inspired for photography. I will teach you the stuff that I know, but when it comes down to it, you can implement this stuff. But when it comes down to it, it's up to you to follow your own guidance if you want to create work that is truly fulfilling. And it doesn't have to be, you know, when I say cutting edge, and it doesn't mean that you're striving to be, you know, the next, you know, Picasso of photography or whatever, and you're going to be like some master. You know, some people who listen to this channel might end up being that person. But it's not about that. It's not about some external goal. It's about getting up every single day and working to your heart's, listening to your heart's desire for this stuff. So that no matter what happens and no matter what the outcome is, when you get to the end of your life, you're not filled with that regret, thinking, hey, you know, I should have spent more time doing the things that I cared about. I think about this a lot, guys, as you can probably tell. I think about death, and I think about the end of my life and what it's going to mean a lot. You know, I went to one of my good childhood friends. I went to his wake today. And man, I grew up with this kid. He was one of my really, really good friends, and we stayed connected, you know, throughout our 20s, into our 30s. We had an apartment together, and we used to do music together when I had a studio in Boston. And you know, just kneeling in front of his casket today, all I could think about was how short and fragile and delicate life really is. And if we keep living like we have a million years on this planet, we're never going to do the thing that really drives us and the thing that we're really created for. And then we're going to get to the end of our life, we're going to realize it was over in a blink, and we're going to have so much regret over the fact that we didn't just follow our heart. Pick up whatever camera you have in front of you, guys. No matter what it is. I don't care if it's a cell phone, if it's a D3200, if it's a D300, if it's a, you know, Canon Rebel, whatever. Just pick it up and go out there, follow your heart, and create from a place of authenticity. And I promise you that eventually you will find that as the years go on, you're going to be proud of your work, and you will not regret the time that you spent out there with that camera. I really hope this helped, and I hope that it wasn't too much rambling. The feedback is always appreciated, guys, and I really appreciate this this channel. 10,000 subscribers in 10 months. It's an amazing thing that's building up around me, and I seem to be attracting all the best people. So thank you, and until the next episode, guys.